is uppercase or not. That's it. So now here I'm saving it. So already saved. So the other part is to make sure Betty checks it. Yeah, there is Betty checking it. That's one biggie part. So Betty is checking it, but remember you have to give it an execution command. What I always do, I make sure I give all my files execution command before I push them to GitHub. So once I give, for example, hmod then file name like this, once I hit enter, it's already done. Then the next thing would be to say git add, push it, then commit, after adding, commit, then push, finished. So that's it. Let's see gcc this value here and we see what happens. Bus. Yeah, to everyone who is watching, why are we having this error? Leave your answer in the comments below. Why you think this error is happening? Okay, that's it for this question, and we've successfully executed it. The next one is the next question is question 2, question 1. It's like write a function that checks for a digit 0 through 9, just checking. Returns 1 if C is a digit, otherwise it returns 0. It's almost related to the previous one. There is no difference in it. It's just the same code that you're supposed to write, and that's all. Yeah, because here that check for digit 0 through 9. So the first thing is going to say if your C, if C is greater or equal to 0, but in terms of making it into a string, why? Because we're using a put char, so I think that's something to consider. Convert it into a string. Okay, so the first thing we have to do here is go into your main.h and include int underscore is digit, then the variable is also of C, that's it, comma. So save this, the main.h file. Then now we can go to vi and call this pass it in and make sure it is created. So that file is created. We go into the insert mode, and then as usual we are going to call main.h file because we've already sent its prototype over there to main. So the next part is to of course define it, give it a comment and description. So it's going to be underscore is digit, okay. Then what is it? It checks for, this is going to check for a digit, check for a digit from 0, comma from 0 to 9. So this is what's going to be checked. Then we need to give it a description. The description, the number, to be checked, just like the previous one, to be checked. Then we give it a return, what's its return value as per the instructions. The instructions say 1 if the number is a digit, comma, if it's not a digit, then 0 otherwise. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So this is it. Now here the fun part starts. Int underscore is digit, the one that runs in the clock, integer over C. Okay, integer, which is, give it an argument which is already its own. Sorry about that. An integer variable. So as I said, C, if C is greater or equal to a string, that is this, and at the same time that C is less or equal to another string, that is 9, a string that is up to that, right? Then what do we want? We want you to return that value. So return a 1 to confirm that. Otherwise, we want you to return a 0 when the program breaks out. If that's not the case, it should break and complete nothing, give you nothing, 0, enter. So that's it. This is the code you're supposed to write. If C is less or equal to 0, is greater or equal to 0, and C is less or equal to 9, then return a 1. And the statement must be fulfilled. If one of these is not correct, the program will break out. Yeah. But once both of them are fulfilled, then it will give out the result and the number will be a digit. So this is what this code is telling us to do. So we will, as usual, save this. After saving it, Betty, woo, do your job. Okay, check for me. Perfect. I love Betty. I love Betty. Betty is my good friend. After she tortured me the first time. Okay, so the next instruction is, the next exercise is exercise 2, which is to write a function that multiplies two integers. Just that, as simple as that. A function that multiplies two integers. Two integers, multiply them. A times B. Finished. Bakash. Just multiply them. So let's copy this out and then move in with it. But the first thing I want to do is to first edit everything inside main.h. I need to include this in here. The function is int, the prototype actually. and oh shit, sorry about this. Mule, comment ça va? Ça va bien? Yeah, my funniest joke that I always like is when some guy was being told the lady is struggling hard to make sure this guy learns French. She's like, comment? Okay, I will tell you the joke later. Let's first finish up with this. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to call main inside the file that we have created. Okay, main.h is being called in. So now we have to give it a description as usual. The description here, let's see. The first one is what it's going to do. It's printing out the multiples, right? So it's giving us multiples. What is it doing? It's multiplying two numbers, right? Write a function that multiplies two integers. Yes. So this is multiplies two integers. So multiplies two integers. That's one. Then two, we want it to give us a description. We want to give it a description actually, not it to give us. We want to give it a description. So we can just say, let's say for example, the first integer to be multiplied is something like that. Okay, then after the second description, okay, so the first and the second, so we can take a b1 here and the second description here. We can say the second integer to be multiplied is then after that we need a return function, right? So our return function here, what is it returning? Let's return the result. Give us the result of the multiplication. Okay, after that one, close the commentary. Then go into defining the what? The function. Our function here is taking an integer of a, comma, and another integer of b. That's all. Okay, so let's move in. Now, the funniest part is this. We have already assigned it two arguments, which are already our variables. So what we do is we're just telling it, you know what? As simple as that, it's just multiplying two integers and then give us the result. So give us a multiple of a times b. Finished. What else do we need? It's done. If you expected long stuff, sorry. Who has seen a bug? I've seen a bug here. This part, Betty is going to shout once we do this. So we need not to leave a space in here. So Betty will shout at me. Let me eliminate it. I don't want to fight with Betty. Perfect. So that's it. This is it. We already have here